Hey everybody, it's the Dynamite Show. Paul Fontaine, Jeff Hawkins here on the Fight Game Media YouTube channel. Just occurred to me, I didn't even promote this on Twitter like I usually do.
Yeah, how are people going to know where we are? What's your problem?
We're on every week. It's just like Tony. He doesn't need to tell anybody either. When's Collision? I don't know. Just leave the TV on. We'll find out. Anyways, everyone, thank you for joining us here. If you are here on the Fight Game Media YouTube channel and on Thursday morning on the Fight Game Media free audio feed. Jeff, it was the go-home show for Dynamite.
Hold on. Before we go in, I need to give a word of thanks for everybody for the well wishes last week.
Right.
I had my first cystoscopy in 2 years where I didn't go into anaphylaxis.
Yay!
I am so, and I didn't miss a show. That was always the thing that always bugged me too. But I no signs of cancer returning in after 8 months.
That is
there's the 8 month check. So we'll just keep going.
That is excellent news.
Yeah,
that is awesome. And
so now and yes, Jeremy Feinstein, you're correct.
So we have some thoughts on this show. We pondered the idea of just talking about that tag team match for 90 minutes and calling it a day, but we don't feel that would be doing justice to how we felt about as we were watching this show. But before we talk about Dynamite, we want to talk about, and this may seem weird to talk about on the go home show for Forbidden Door, whatever.
Well, hold on. Let's not bury ourselves before we get into this. Okay. We talk news from AEW before we go into the Dynamite review.
Yes.
And yes, AEW had a bit of a talent acquisition that we're about to talk about. That isn't that important, but it's kind of important when you look at it.
It's important in a macro sense. And the micro part of it probably isn't all that important. But the Ace Austin debuted. And Ace Austin, a lot of people, like, I know someone who is been a wrestling fan his whole life, watches AEW almost every week, hardcore AEW fan, doesn't really watch a lot of other wrestling, he's heard of Ace Austin, but he's never actually seen him. So, people were telling him about Ace Austin. He's pretty excited about Ace Austin after people were talking about him. I see him all the time in TNA. I think he's a great young talent. He's not as young as he was when I first started watching him, but he's still on the younger side, especially in the company he's going to. So he shows up, no announcement, no nothing, just all of a sudden just came out. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't remember who he wrestled. But I do know that as soon as he went out there, I knew he wasn't going to win.
Ricochet.
Oh, yeah, right. Ricochet. Actually, we could talk a little bit about Ricochet too.
Well, here we go.
I want to ask you something, Jeff. If I'm talking about a talented wrestler who is very charismatic, bit of a comedy guy, who has a tag team of guys that are bigger than him that are never going to get anywhere near the tag team titles, who am I talking about?
I believe you're talking about Ricochet.
No, I'm talking about Chad Gable. But I could have been talking about Ricochet. The same description would apply, except but Ricochet got paid a lot of money and he's having a lot of fun. So good for Ricochet. But Ricochet is out there against Ace Austin, the debuting Ace Austin in his hometown. And Ace Austin is behind. He's over with the crowd. They know who he is. They're into everything he's doing.
Yes.
He is. The announcers are putting him over great. And he loses.
Yes.
In his debut.
Now, Paul, do you remember we are men of a certain age? You remember those Sally Struthers commercials?
Oh yeah, with the little orphan kid. Yeah.
Well, no, not the little orphan kid ones. The ones about the correspondence schools.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Do you want to make money? Sure, we all do it. You could possibly. Well, allow me to introduce my new course, the Jeff Hawkins School of How to Be a Professional Wrestler. Do you want to make more money at professional wrestling? Sure, we all do. Here's the first thing you should do, kids, if you want to become a good professional wrestler. Demand on your first match that you win, or you don't go out there. That's number one. Number two, find a personality. This is a television business. It's a cosmetic industry, but it's also a television business. So your personality is your product when you're on professional wrestling. And the third thing, in terms of most important skills, learn how to throw a punch. This is still fake fighting, guys. And if you don't know how to throw a punch, all you're doing out there is gymnastics. And you know the last time when gymnastics was big? The 1984 Summer Olympics, when we had Gymkata and American Anthem afterwards as movies. That's it. That's the list. Thank you very much. No, I cannot believe he signed there. Okay, we're going to debut in your hometown, and you're going to lose, but you're going to have a good match with Ricochet, who you idolize as a kid, probably. I'm like, that's great. But why would you ever hand over your career to a guy who says, we're going to let you lose in your first match without introducing you or giving you a promo package or telling the audience who the hell you are, because most of them probably don't watch TNA/Impact? The F.
You're not wrong.
Sorry, I'm angry at this because look, as much as the AEW fandom hates, and they hate with the passion of 1,000 suns, guys who like to bet on themselves in some way or another, they want the guys who go along to get along, etc., etc. You are your product, and you need to protect that product. And if you're going to a bigger company and don't think that you're going to be a bigger deal, then you don't go. I'm sorry. I just,
somebody made Jeremy, before he left, made a comment about that, and we got a couple super chats, and we're going to get into those right away.
Sorry.
No, that's good. We tell people, if you want to give us money, we will stop what we're doing and
where are we at now? Because I think we're around. Wait, we still have to select that other.
Yeah, we're way over. We
Dynamite.
may, what? If we get enough, we may do a pay-per-view. Because I think we're at like $40 now.
For 50, we do a pay-per-view. How about
there
that?
There we go.
And we'll just hold out.
Actually, no, we're at like 45.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Austin leaving TNA because the fit wasn't right anymore was really interesting. You know what I think that means?
WWE didn't want him.
Yes, because all the people that show up in TNA or in WWE from TNA, Ace Austin was never one of them.
No.
For whatever reason. Now, one thing I did notice about Ace Austin, like, I don't know how much you've seen Ace Austin over the years.
I've seen a little bit of him.
I
would not call myself an Ace Austin completist if you're asking me that.
Well, I mean, I've seen him in TNA, I've seen him in Revolver, I've seen him in some other indies.
Only TNA for me. That's
okay.
It.
He put on about 20 pounds of muscle since I last saw him.
The Kyle Fletcher diet program?
Maybe.
Okay.
And maybe that's because WWE told him, put some weight on, kid, and come back to us in 3 years. But I don't know. Anyways, that's just my speculation. Let's get to Lady B's question here.
All right.
And she wants you to answer first, and then I've got an answer that you may have. But
okay.
Hi, boys. Jeff gets to answer first. AEW made no mention of Takeshita winning the G1. Thoughts on this and why it's Forbidden Door week?
Because Tony can't cook. No.
The wrestling people like it.
It was inexcusable. And to then sneak him onto the crawl for the upcoming Collision matches where he's going to face Tomohiro Ishii.
Yeah, in a Dynasty rematch.
With no fanfare. Do
you know that last week during the crawl when they were announcing Collision matches, they announced Jon Moxley against Kevin Knight? I completely missed it.
Huh.
Because it wasn't Jon Moxley against Kevin Knight. It was Jon Moxley and Wheeler against JetSpeed, I think. I completely missed it because I turned my head away for 2 seconds and missed it. And if you did that during the main event tonight, you missed that the G1 winner is going to be wrestling on Saturday. Now, I will tell you, they did mention
I haven't finished answering my question.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I let you answer your question. Sorry.
Now we've only referred to Keshta at the G1 in passing on commentary the past few weeks as well.
Mm-hmm.
This is Tony in some ways. Now, this may be on purpose or because his mind is scatterbrained a bit. Thumbing his nose at New Japan in some ways because they're not that popular right now, I think. Because to me, if he's coming back at Forbidden Door, I mean, even for Collision, you could have done this. Video package of him, highlights of the G1. Hey, guess who's coming back to AEW television? The G1 champion who is from our company.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, we sent somebody to New Japan and he won their biggest tournament.
Mm-hmm.
How do you not plug this? This is professional malpractice in many ways.
Okay, the answer to that is they did.
What?
Kyle Fletcher mentioned it during his promo on Collision.
Oh, eat my ass, Paul.
I'm telling you the truth. Because you know what pisses me off? I didn't know that Takeshita won the G1 until I saw that promo. Or no, sorry, you know what? Okay, my bad. He was in the finals of the G1. He hadn't won it yet. Someone will correct me when they hear it. Because that's how I found out Takeshita was in the finals. Because I saw Kyle Fletcher spoiled it for me. Why they didn't mention it? Oh, Tony Khan thinks everybody knows. And they'll tell us on Saturday that he won when nobody's watching the show because it's the opening weekend of college football and it's Collision before a pay-per-view and everybody knows and you don't need to watch that show. So they will mention it when he has his match with Tomohiro Ishii. And they announce his match for Forbidden Door, whatever that's going to be. They'll announce that match on the show on Saturday, whatever that is.
All right. Let me add another one. Tony thinks that all the AEW fans watch both Dynamite and Collision religiously.
And the G1.
And the G1, which they don't.
No.
Like even within the Fight Game personal group, you couldn't find anybody watching this G1 except you.
And Jeremy.
Maybe Jeremy finds stuff. Yeah, and Jeremy.
Yeah, and
I thought Jeremy had gone to bed, but he's still talking to us. So I'm
Jeremy is doing a bang up job. He's been supplying Brian with notes. He watched this whole thing. I still haven't finished watching it. I still have the semifinals and finals to watch.
You still have like a random Ring of Honor from 4 weeks ago.
No. I'm all caught up on Ring of Honor, believe it or not. I watch everything in order. Okay. And then this question here from Plethora 1C. Since TNA will competing against AEW in the fall, most likely, can Jeff and Paul break down the AEW roster versus the TNA roster? Okay, let's just talk like top 5. We're not going to do the whole roster.
Really? Because I don't even know the top 5, but I'll go for it if you want.
Well, I will say I watch both. Obviously, I do this show and then I watch TNA. I don't watch whatever they have a show called Explosion or something. I don't watch that. But in terms of like their main guys, I mean, AEW blows them away. Let's not be,
yes.
But I will say that
side at least
TNA has a lot of good talent. I mean, we've got, if you're talking like main event guys, you've got Moose. Trick Williams is the champion right now. He's a WWE guy, but he's wrestling there a lot. You got Joe Hendry, Frankie Kazarian. Steve Macklin is a really talented guy. He's got their international title.
Nick Nemeth, Mustafa Ali.
Leon Slater is incredible. Somebody's going to snap him up, probably WWE. He's wrestling Michael Oku this week in England. If anybody's listening to our show from there, check that out. What's so funny about that?
I'm laughing at Jason. Comes in with JC Jane. It's like, yes, JC is the women's champion there, but
JC Jane, and for the women, they have a good women's division too. They got Masha Slamovich, JC Jane's a champion. They got these 2 new women they just signed who I'm really high on. Mila Grace and Harley something or other.
Yeah, I can see them on their.
Yeah,
they're
both Irish. And they're really, they seem to have something. So they're going to be real good in NXT in a couple of years.
Who's the British girl from? She was in NXT UK.
Danny Luna.
She's Robbie.
Is it Danny Luna or
Zaya
Brookside?
Zaya Brookside. That's who I was thinking of. And yes, Tessa Blanchard's in there, and she's a good wrestler. Might be a terrible human being to some of you, but she's a hell of a wrestler.
Yeah, and they've also got Indy Hartwell, who is probably going to be their champion sooner than later.
No.
Every time you watch an Indy Hartwell match, at some point in the match, she forgets that she's in a wrestling match. And I said it, the way I put it was, deers, when they're about to get hit by a truck, have the Indy Hartwell in a wrestling ring look in their eyes.
She loves wrestling, but wrestling does not love her.
No. So yeah, so there's that. And then, I mean, obviously AEW. Okay, so with AEW, it's funny that Plethora asked this question because I was thinking about it. And when we were talking about Ricochet, and somebody's going to argue with us that Ace Austin lost to a top guy in Ricochet. Ricochet's not a top guy. You have to go probably 20 guys down before you get to Ricochet, I would think. Maybe more in AEW. Would you agree with that?
20? I wouldn't go. Well, maybe. I don't know.
I mean, there's a lot of guys that have belts.
What are we judging on here? What's
just
the
like high on the card? Yeah, Hangman, Moxley.
Oh, yes. 20 is a good round number if we're counting like tag champs and trios.
Yeah,
champs.
tag. I mean, you talk the Bucks. Like I would say, like, if they became a singles guy, where would they be? Like, they would all be ahead of Ricochet. So
Danhausen.
Yeah. Oh my God, Jeremy, I can't wait till you hear our thoughts on the main event, because I will talk about your comment here. Scooby-Doo show used to do shows.
I reference this all the time here on this show, though. Jonathan Winters. Oh, there we go.
Oh my God, that opening segment. So yeah, I would say that TNA has no chance of beating AEW. Their chance is to hurt AEW. That's what they're there for.
And they won't, because I don't think there's a big crossover of TNA and AEW fans. I really don't.
There's casual wrestling fans that might choose one over the other. That's all. Like, if you're going through your channels and you happen to see wrestling, you may stop on Impact as opposed to Dynamite. That's the audience that they're going to take from Dynamite. It's not much, but it's some. 10%, maybe.
The Ash by Elegance Revolution will be televised.
Oh my God, I do like that M by Elegance, that Maggie Grace. I like her.
Kylan King, who's the third one, or no?
No, Heather. No, Kylan King has been injured for a while, but she'll be back soon. No, you know what? I could see you thinking that the third one was Kylan King.
All tall redheads look the same to me. Sorry.
Exactly. Yeah. And you got the Inspiration.
I'm an Inspiration apologist.
The former Jakara Jackson is there. I think she's got something.
She's working hard, man. She's doing the indies. I got nothing but love for people who try.
Yeah,
I
what's
do.
Her name? Mara Sade or something like that.
Yeah,
her last name is Sade.
She's done more indies since being cut than Anna Jay has since being hired. So
and Cora Jade did the smart thing. She just gave up on the indies and went all in on the OnlyFans.
Well, and I think she's kind of regretting a bit. She just wants to step away from everything. So yeah.
Not everyone can make Mandy Rose money. Mandy Rose isn't making Mandy Rose money anymore, probably.
No.
But once you put the goodies out there, it's pay for them anymore. All right. So that's that. Thank you very much for the super chats. If we don't pick a Dynamite soon, we'll probably end up doing a pay-per-view. So
let's get to this show and look, I want to talk in the macro before we dissect it a bit.
Okay. Do you want to do that now?
Cannot. Yes.
Okay.
I am just floored at they're outlining this show and they look at it. They go, yeah, that's the go home. We're going to have a time limit draw followed by the main event angle where we almost burn someone alive and throw it to the women. Now, and they're going to have a match to take us off the air. That was their thinking. Versus The angle where they almost burn Mark Briscoe alive. And not going home on that, Paul. That is bad television writing. That is putting your second beat after your third beat. And it's ridiculous in so many ways. And we talk about this almost every go-home show, is that there is something that gets in Tony's head about writing a go-home show where he overstuffs it and overthinks it. Now, I understand why he did this. He did this with one ear on Sam Shipman because he is scared to death of Sam Shipman. And Sam getting a question on the media call tomorrow, perhaps. Why haven't you pushed these women's matches more on this card? So he goes, you know what, Sam Shipman, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to follow almost murdering a man with a women's tag match because they're equal. No, you almost murdered a man on live television, Tony. You can't just back up and go, now here's the wrestling for you. Now, don't get me wrong. I'll get into more of the problems with almost murdering a man on live television and what professional wrestling has lost because of it when we talk about the angle itself. But in terms of actually outlining this show, you decide 30-minute draw, burning a man alive, women's tag. And that's your go-home show? Yeah, that's going to make me want to buy things. I'm floored by this. I just am, Paul. Go ahead.
So I want to say, I remember a show, and I'm trying to find it and I can't find it, but you might remember this. I remember a show that was like the go-home show for a pay-per-view where Colton Gunn got a win in the main event.
Yes!
Even though he wasn't even on the show. I can't remember who he pinned. I want to say it might have been Cody, but I think Cody was just there. I don't think he pinned Cody. But that was the worst go-home segment they ever did. This might have been the second. I was just floored by this go-home segment. And like I'm just watching, I'm waiting, I'm watching, and then it just ended.
Because the thinking's wrong, Paul. The thinking is I'm going to do a good wrestling show as opposed to this is an infomercial for your pay-per-view, and I'm trying to drive you to buy it. I'm trying to give you the hard sell. And say what you want about the terribleness of WWE battering you over the head at times. Mm-hmm. They know, okay, I'm starting with something big, but it's 1B, and I'm ending with 1A, and I'm saying what's going to happen on this pay-per-view, and I'm driving your eyeballs to that, for better or for worse, on how.
Yeah, it might not always be good, but at least you know, okay, this is the driving home. That women's match, like put it this way, I don't even know what set they were trying to promote. 2 matches, I guess.
Yes, but they're trying to promote the entire division. Is what they were doing. In
terms of like my interest, and especially coming out of that match, it's maybe like 4th or 5th on the card. Like, and I would think in most terms of most fans, I think most fans are probably super into that 10-man tag. You might be into Nigel and Zach, which they never even mentioned on this show. You might be interested in MJF and Hangman, which they did push quite a bit. That's your world title feud. Kenny Omega or Okada and Swerve, you know, like the tag team titles. And the women, you know, like.
And the women's match was structured so that, okay, you kind of have a little bit of an angle with Athena pile driving Tony on the stairs, but half of that match was comedy of Tony licking people.
The way that ended, I almost wondered if she actually got hurt. Like, because it just felt like there was something that they were going to do and they just didn't do it. You know what I mean?
Then stretch her out then.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't think that's what it was. I think it's just, it
was supposed to give you a question of whether she's going to win on Sunday, and
even show up. Maybe she's not going to be medically cleared. Which is a great segue into our opening segment.
Well, if that happens, then give Athena the belt by forfeit.
No, medically cleared doesn't matter in AEW, dude.
That's
make it a lights out match. Yeah,
sure.
So They did. So here's the thing. I'm doing the preview for this show, for the YouTube thing, and I'm looking up, what's happening on the show because I always forget. And they mentioned on the AEW preview 6 hours before the show, Bryan Danielson's doing commentary. It's like, oh, cool. I had no idea. So it's like, okay, cool. He was awesome. I thought he was great on commentary. He replaced Taz, way better than Taz. I understand Taz is going through some medical stuff, so thoughts and prayers to him. But yeah, I mean, Danielson was out there and he did his entrance and people loved it. I don't know if they knew why he was out there. I'm not
sure I knew why he was out there, to be honest.
There was a guy in our Discord that was in the building and he popped like crazy when Danielson's music hit and he came out. And it's like, and I wrote, oh, you popped because I went and did commentary. But then I realized, like, well, he didn't know. Like, as far as he knew, maybe.
And I'd be honest, the first thing I thought was he'd have to opine on Nigel and Zack Sabre Jr., which is a match on this card that was not mentioned at all during the show.
And I would be interested in his thoughts on that match. But I mean,
especially given what Nigel says about the late great Bryan Danielson on commentary occasionally.
Yeah. So he was great. And they showed Hangman getting off a bus. So your world champion getting off a bus. That was cool. And then Will Ospreay comes out for a face-to-face. So fans love him. He comes out. They're singing, Ospreay, 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 Ospreay. And yeah, you knew that was coming. And he was choked up. It was great. And he says, thanks for that. This has been one of the worst months of my life, but I know I can depend on you guys cheering me up. I can always count on Glasgow. So he tells the story about a promoter not wanting to put him in a hotel. He's cheap. So he brought him to the arena at 10 o'clock and the show didn't end till 10 at night. Then they went out to a bar afterwards. And he says, we murdered the Yanks when it comes to drinking.
Well, that's because we have jobs that we have to go to and nobody in Scotland does.
True.
I gotta get my the UK's third world jokes
at Craft Game 13. Everybody,
yeah.
Pull up in a taxi. I'm starving. I'm blinded. In the distance, I can see blue lights. Everyone in the crowd knows where he's going. Everyone watching on TV doesn't have a clue what the hell he's talking about. He says, I opened my eyes and I tried to make out what he said. Clover's Lane Griff's sausage rolls. The crowd goes insane. They start chanting, sausage, sausage rolls. Sausage, sausage rolls. He gets down on his hands and knees and he says, I knew this was going to happen. And then he says, none of that vegan crap either. And get out of here. And then he's, oh, sorry, Bryan. Danielson stands up and he's playing the gimmick because we know Danielson eats meat. And he says, but I hate letting you guys down because I've grown up in front of you guys. I'm grateful for every bit of support. You're not just people, you're my people. And last week, I was given the worst news that's going to change my life forever. It's because of what John and the Death Riders did to me. When I was young, I was a rubber ball. I wasn't even human. Taka Michinoku called me an alien. But for the first time in my life, I feel human. I'll be honest with y'all, I'm scared. I'm terrified. I'm walking down a road that other wrestlers have walked down and haven't come back the same. He stops, fans chant. Says, here's the truth for all of you. You're going to spin it any way you want. The people on the internet are going to listen to this and say whatever they want. But last week, I didn't get cleared for Forbidden Door. They told me I can't wrestle at Forbidden Door. I said I'll take it into my own hands. So a lights out steel cage match. No one knows what that means. Unsanctioned. Anything that happens is all on me. It's not on AEW. It's not on Tony Khan. And he says, but we don't want you to die. And the fans start chanting, please don't die. I'm aware of the risks, but I'm comfortable taking these risks because this place means so much to me. I'm here to prove a point that this generation is going to look after these 3 letters. And if there's even a small chance that I can't be Will Ospreay after Sunday, then you better believe I'm leaving everything in the ring. The main reason I'm doing this is because I want revenge, bruv. I will enter that steel cage with 4 good friends. And he rattles them off. Kenny Omega, Kota Ibushi, Hiroshi Tanahashi, Darby Allin. And we will tear the Death Riders apart. And this is from me. Before they take a scalpel to me, I'll take a pound of flesh from Jon Moxley. So, before we get to what happened next, I was confused.
Was there a Chris Brooks reference somewhere in here? I thought there was, but
maybe I don't know.
Okay.
I don't understand. Oh my God. Hangman was riding the train without complaining. It was callback to Punk it all in. Yeah, I'm sure that's 100% correct. And
I do too.
Get over it, Hangman. He's moved on. He's not into anymore. I'm confused because either he's medically cleared or he's not. And if he's medically cleared, then he's a bullshitter. And if he's not medically cleared, you can't put him in a lights out steel cage match. What is going on?
No, the kayfabe was the doctor said he's not medically cleared, but he said the hell with you, and that's why it's a lights out match.
Okay, so that's kayfabe. He is medically cleared.
I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Well, it does matter because he's either medically cleared or he's not medically cleared.
He's gonna be in the match one way or another. It does not.
How is he in the match if he's not medically cleared?
Because it's a lights out match, so AEW doesn't.
No. I'm not talking kayfabe. I'm talking in real life. Because presumably, from what he said, I assume he's going to do this match and he's going to be gone a long time.
Okay,
he's going under the knife.
Yeah.
So if the doctors told him not to wrestle, or was it like a Danielson thing where he said, "We're advising you not to, but if you want to, go ahead. Either way, you're getting surgery." I think it's that.
Yeah, he's getting surgery after that. I agree, but that it's his body and his choice. He can do this.
I guess.
I was actually kind of interested in Danielson because he's kind of playing. Or maybe I should hold this for the Death Riders match, so I'll hold it there. But
well, I mean, it's coming next, but
okay, but yeah, but it's one of those things where like on commentary, he's not. Well, I'm really upset I can't wrestle all this. But I also, in the back of my mind now, think of the Bryan Danielson interview where Cody taught him the joys of lying much.
At some point in this promo, I was fully expecting him to like pull out of the match, like the way he was talking. I thought this was exactly what it was going to be. Doctors say I can't wrestle. I'm going to do it anyways. That's why it's a lights out match. And then I'm going to get surgery and I'll see you later. I expect him to get put out in some way in this match so that he has to go get the surgery. The problem with this whole thing is he already told us that he's been injured for 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I guess we're just supposed to forget that. Like, I don't know. Yeah. So,
yes.
All right. So out comes Moxley. And he gets in Will's face. Marina's out there too, and she was on something tonight. She just looked all mean. Claudio's at ringside, and then Claudio and Moxley are about to climb into the ring. And then Will says, "Whoa, John, the ace of AEW, you need Slaphead and the geezer that needs a haircut to fight your battles." He said, "This Sunday I'm coming for you, so if you want to get rid of me, don't let your boys do it. Do it yourself." So Moxley backs up, and Claudio gets in the ring. Out come Kevin Knight and Speedball. Crowd, as far as they knew, they were fans in the crowd. They didn't even react. Hiroshi Tanahashi's music hits though, and they loved that. And he I won't say he did a run in. He did a very slow walk in. And
didn't want to muss his hair. His hair is very.
He can't move, dude.
Wavy and majestic.
He can't move, dude. Like I've been watching this guy.
Wavy.
He's had some good matches in the G1 because he's working psychology, but this style does not work for him.
It's on his retirement tour. I'm good with it.
Yeah. So we got the match. It was Moxley, Claudio, and Wheeler against JetSpeed and Tanahashi. Weird 6-man. So they made this match on Saturday on Collision on a show nobody watched. So Tanahashi comes in. He does the greatest hits. He's doing these leg whips. Danielson's putting him over. Bailey came in. Danielson putting over his kicks. Danielson was really enthusiastic. Kind of reminded me of like Tony Schiavone when he first started in AEW, where he was just like popping for everything. He was, but also adding some really good analysis.
He was the anti-Taz tonight.
So Marina is beating on Kevin Knight outside the ring, and the ref sees it, and he kicks her out. And she's screaming, "No, no!" And she right in the camera, she says, "No, fucking no!" It's like, there's a fine coming. And then Will Ospreay, the comedy dude, wanders out and he carries her off, and she's screaming, "Fucking!" She's screaming away, and he carries her off, and he's got a big grin on his face, like it's just complete and total comedy. And then we get back to the match, and Kevin Knight is getting beat on, made a tag to Tanahashi. Tanahashi comes in, and he's so slow. He does a second rope senton on Yuta. Bailey comes in, goes wild without a tag. Then he took out Mox, banged his head on the desk on a dive. I was kind of worried about him there. And then we go back in the ring, and it's Tanahashi and Wheeler. Tanahashi does a sling blade, which is the setup for the twist and shout. He's about to do the twist and shout, and he's taking forever. And then JetSpeed runs in, and they're doing a 3-way twist and shout. So that was fine. Then they go to the top, and he did a high fly flow. JetSpeed does dives to the outside. And then all of a sudden, all hell breaks loose. Bunch of random people start coming down.
Okay, good.
The announcers say it's the War Dogs. They rattle off the names, but don't tell you who's who. I recognize Gabe Kidd. Like, I recognize all these guys because I watched New Japan, but the camera was back and forth so fast and everything. I couldn't even tell who was there. I know David Finley's in the War Dogs. I don't think he was there. Robbie X was out there, and I guess he's in the War Dogs, but I wasn't even sure because I haven't seen him in a long time, even in New Japan. So Clark Connors was out there, but I mean, you barely saw him. And then the other thing is they didn't even do anything. Like, they just came out and I don't know what was going on. The crowd didn't react at all, even though a lot of the guys are from the UK. And then Will Ospreay wanders out again, and he's carrying a body bag. And the announcers say, "Oh, it's got to be Marina Shafir in the body bag." Number one, it was way too big to be Marina Shafir. Number two, it was so obvious it was going to be Darby Allin. Like, right? Like, you knew it was Darby Allin.
That's his gimmick. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
That gimmick with Darby before.
So anyway,
hold on. I'm more concerned about this. Okay, we introduce a bunch of guys that I'm supposed to care about, but they're really NPCs. Okay. So did they... Why not at least give me something with Gabe Kidd saying he's bringing his boys to London so that we know that they're aligned with Gabe Kidd, and Gabe Kidd's kind of a mercenary with the Death Riders, but he still has his backup crew. Instead, I get these if they're dudes who can't fight. That's what it looked like to me.
If Moxley had access to the Death Riders, why did he choose the Young Bucks to be his partners? Or sorry, right. to the
War Dogs.
Yeah. The War Dogs, believe it or not, you may not know this. Most people watching didn't know this, I'm sure. The War Dogs did a match last year. I mentioned this match
I watched that match.
Yeah, it was the War Dogs. It was all these guys, or most of these guys, against Will Ospreay's team. So anyways, oh, by the way, in the ring, Tanahashi did a high five flow and pin Wheeler, but the match doesn't matter. Like, that's literally, they cut back to the ring. He did the high fly flow and the match was over. Like, that was it. Like, amidst all this distraction, whatever was going on.
Also, probably the finish of the cage match on Sunday, by the way.
Maybe. I don't know.
He's doing a high fly flow off the top of the cage.
I don't think that'll be the finish, though. I think the finish is going to be Ospreay getting submitted. I think he's getting a plastic bag around his head. So the War Dogs are in the ring and they start beating on Tanahashi and JetSpeed. The announcers point out it's a 7-on-3 beatdown. So Will Ospreay is on the top of the thing. He's still holding his body bag, and he calls out Moxley, saying, "You come get her, she's right here. You're gonna leave her alone?" And then the Bucks show up and they super kicked Ospreay, and the announcers are putting it over like Ospreay's dead because it's his neck. And then the Bucks went to open the bag. And then out comes, of all people, Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong, who I have not seen on Dynamite, I think, since All In, maybe way before All In. Like, they have not been on TV in a long time. They're on Collision every week, but they have not been on Dynamite. So they took out the Bucks. They brought them to the back. So now the Death Riders, they find the bag, and they're trying to get Marina out of it. And lo and behold, Darby breaks out of it and immediately jumps on Claudio's back, starts choking him out. And then all of a sudden, more people start running out. I have no idea who they are. The announcers mention that it's the Ops, and they point them out. But, like, you can't, like, you can see Joe. You can't miss Joe. But I guess Hobbs and Shibata were out there. But there's so many damn people out there. You can't see. There's a brawl going on. They brawl into the crowd. They're all over the place. Nothing's lighted properly. You'd think the crowd would be going insane for this, but they're not because they can't see a damn thing. Excalibur points out that security's en route. Danielson's talking about Moxley choking out Ospreay, and they're all worried about his neck or everything. And meanwhile, all I can see is random people wandering around, getting these random brawls.
Yes.
There's no sign of Danielson and Ospreay. Moxley and Ospreay, your two biggest stars and the two biggest focal points of this, they're not even showing them on camera.
You know who else there's no sign of? Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi.
Oh yeah, because yeah. Did you hear the story about like Kota Ibushi found out about this match when he saw it on TV? So anyways, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Darby dove off a balcony onto about a dozen people. The camera barely caught it. They didn't show a replay. And then all of a sudden, Ospreay's up there and he's helping somebody out. He's fine. 30 seconds ago, they're telling us that Moxley had him choked out and they were worried he wasn't going to make the pay-per-view. And now he's fine. Like he's just fine. There's nothing wrong. So then they go back to the ring. It's Samoa Joe, Will Ospreay, and Darby. And they just start walking back towards the ring. And then the segment's just over. And so I was like, I think there was 35 people in this opening segment.
There were. Am I to understand then the ops are probably defending against 3 of the War Dogs? For the
probably. On that show. Or maybe, no, that might be a pay-per-view match. Yeah. Probably Gabe Kidd. No, Gabe Kidd's in the match. So Drilla, Drilla, Robbie X, and Clark Connors probably. Clark Connors, you're taking the pin.
Can we add Dark State in there too? Because I don't give a crap about the War Dogs. Yeah, and then they took care of the Roddy and Kyle O'Reilly thing for Collision at the end of the show because they're facing Bucks at Collision. That's how this is how Tony books. Hey, we don't need to build feuds. We'll just have guys run into each other during a massive locker room brawl, and that'll.
And that's probably where you're going to see Omega and Ibushi during that match that nobody's going to watch.
You think they come? Oh, okay.
I could see it. Although if they were there, they should have been on the show tonight, and they're taping it tonight, right? Or they already taped it.
Like I thought they already taped it. So they did. Yeah, I was wondering. I was like, okay, they made an appearance earlier tonight, then I guess. Or
later? No, you're probably right. Yeah, they're probably not there. So yeah, this was a cluster bleep and a half. This whole opening segment. I would assume that people in the building loved it, but like it didn't come off that way. Yeah,
it came off as guys. The idea was we're going to do a brawl, and it came off as guys who have never done those types of things. Because you're seeing a lot of guys standing around and around guys they should be hitting, and they're not hitting them. And it's one of those things where it's like, if you had the old grizzled Bill Watts type in the back, he'd fire half of them for giving up on the fighting. It's just one of those things where it's like the rough and tumble aspect of the sport has gone way to everybody's, happy to be there and get a check type thing. So nobody really knows how to turn up the violent heat all that well, to be honest with you. I thought the Darby stunt was good. I thought the reveal out of the bag was fun, but other than that, this was a mess.
Money shot of this whole thing was the Darby dive off the balcony. They should have been, everything should have been leading to that. And we should have got a clean shot of it and reaction and everything. And it was like, the camera barely caught it. We didn't see a replay, and then to the back.
Yeah, you should probably have run through that during like a production meeting or something, possibly too.
Yeah, apparently they have production meetings now. But so somebody asked, "Where's Kenny?" and Tony shut down the meeting. So we go back from the break. We come back and Tony Schiavone's in the ring and he calls out Adam Copeland. And I felt like I can fast forward 10 minutes because I know what's coming. Adam Copeland's going to come out. He's going to soak in the crowd. They're going to sing his song. He's going to look like he's about to cry. And that's exactly what happened. I actually watched the crowd sing his song. I did fast forward through the entrance, but so they sang the song and it was actually really good this time. Like not like some of them where like a quarter of the people know the music. It was like everybody knew the song. And then this was actually really good. So that they didn't do it a second time, and they probably would have. Christian Cage's music hits. So then, that cut it off, and Copeland acted like Cage was stealing his thunder. And I mean, that's the story. So that works. And then, so finally he's in the ring, and then Tony says, "Quite a moment, gentlemen. So let me be the first to say it's been a long time." Crowd's chanting, "Holy shit." And Christian says, "First things first." What's so funny?
I just love this opening line by Christian.
Yeah. "Glasgow, sit down and shut your mouths while I conduct And he doesn't
My
even get
business.
Yeah. Well, I don't even think he finished the sentence because
No.
Copeland interrupted. He says, "What are you doing, man? You're still going to be that guy? These people love us. We are inarguably one of the greatest tag teams of all time. But I get it. He is what he is. He's an asshole. And here's the thing I've learned over the years. Sometimes you need an asshole. And it just so happens that he's my asshole." And he stops and looks like he said something he shouldn't have said. But it was so stupid because I think he thought he said something like risque or double entendre. It was nothing.
No, this is him in his head being clever. Right. And he has bad creative instincts in this respect. So yes, it was supposed to be a laugh line that, hey, he's my asshole, as in literally my asshole.
And nobody laughed.
Right.
Because they just wanted to chant asshole at Christian.
Correct.
Which is
and that's the other thing that he does when he plots these promos and his creative. He's planning for audience chants and stuff. He's my asshole.
So when the chants don't happen, then it throws him off.
He gets thrown off. Yes.
Okay. All right. So Tony asked, he says to Christian, "Adam asked you to find yourself at All In. Have you?" And he says, "You're right, Tony. At All In Texas, Adam picked me up by the hand and he said, 'Go find yourself.' And I took some time and I did just that. I looked deep within my soul and I did find myself. And guess what I found? I don't need to change a thing. I'm perfect just the way I am." The crowd went nuts for him. Now he says, "People might be wondering if Adam and I are on the same page, and I can assure you that we are not. There's a lot of scar tissue here. We aren't on the same page, but at least now we're writing in the same book. And I know people are hoping for some bubbly reunion of one of, if not the greatest tag teams of all time. But this is a reunion out of necessity. Adam has agreed to help me with my Nick and Kip problem, and I've agreed to help him with his FTR problem. I can't commit to anything beyond that, but you have my word on this. I'll stand before you, I'll stick my hand out, and I'll shake your hand and look you straight in the eye. And this version of Christian Cage, who found himself 3 years ago, will be the best tag team partner you've ever had." Stuck out his hand, Copeland shook it. And I got to say, this actually was good, like really good. This was a good explanation of the disaster of last week. And it actually made perfect, complete sense.
It's a little superior, actually, to the Sting Luger heel babyface dynamic, in my opinion, because we know Christian's never going to change. And I assume on the first loss that they have, Christian kicks him right in the balls and walks off.
Could be. Or Adam cheats and they become a heel team.
I don't think that's going to happen for a while.
Okay. All right. But I like your idea. Because
what's building up, and I'll tell you what I think is going to happen in a bit.
And then I got to say, like, I had no idea this was coming. I hadn't heard any news or anything. So, out comes Kip Sabian. He says, well, isn't this cute? Christian Cage, what have you become? Pandering for the attention and love of these people you despised. You are pathetic. And then Shayna's with him, and he says, "Who are you,
champ Shayna?"
Yeah, yeah. "Who are you people to boo us? Who are you to boo a mother? And not just any mother. I'm the mother to the prodigy Nick Wayne." And she points to the video wall. And Nick Wayne is there, and he's in his gym in Seattle, Buddy Wayne's gym. And he's got a pair of crutches. And he says, "Christian, Copeland, sorry to interrupt this cute little reunion between two legends just hanging on to their career by threads. For now, let's address last Wednesday. Christian, you hit the ring to save Cope. Just like you, I thought you'd be. I was not too far behind. You hit the ring with that spike thing, attempting to take my life from me. Well, you didn't take my life, but you broke my foot, and you put me on the shelf for weeks. You took Forbidden Door away from me. But believe me when I tell you this, I'd have showed up to Forbidden Door this Sunday. I'd have turned your reunion into a farewell tour, and I'd have embarrassed you in front of the entire world and took your entire career from you. But it's a blessing in disguise that I won't be there on Sunday. Or is it? Christian Cage, I'm always one step ahead." And then a video played.
Okay, pause right here. I thought Nick Wayne's delivery here was fantastic.
He was great. He was way better than me.
He's really getting better.
Yeah.
He's getting better at this promo thing, and I'm starting to get intrigued a little bit. There's a little tingle in the old Hawkins going, maybe there's something here.
Yeah, yeah. And Jeremy had a theory. He said,
I agree with Jeremy's theory, so go ahead.
My dumbass theory is that Jack Perry was the one to revive Killswitch. I'm not so sure about that, but we'll see.
I'm not sure that's it because it looks a lot like Christian's jacket, to be honest with you, in some ways. But the tweed with the buttons. But I do think that this is a way somehow to get Jack Perry back into the fold and into the story, because I think what happens here is Kip and Killswitch lose. And then when Nick's able to come back, he and Kip blame Killswitch. Perry comes out and becomes the multi-team schmaz of Kip and Nick versus Jack Perry and Luchasaurus versus Copeland and Christian eventually.
I got to go back and watch this
in like a TLC match. I think they're going to do one last TLC match, those two old guys. Eventually.
You don't think it's going to be against FTR and the Young Bucks?
It might be. I don't know.
I got to watch this again because I didn't even notice the jacket. So
yeah, the jacket they're saying it looks like the scapegoat jacket quite a bit.
Okay. Oh, could be then. Could be. And obviously they do have the history together. Luchasaurus had a great storyline of wanting to see him finally turn on Christian. Then he had a real life issue that could have made him a big face coming back. So they returned him as a heel. Dumb. Well, the funny thing is I completely forgot about that. And the other thing is I forgot about his name because the fans were chanting Luchasaurus. And I completely forgot his name.
And then Excalibur goes, Killswitch. And you're like, oh my God.
They should have just called him Luchasaurus again. Like nobody, But so he's back. And it's going to be him and Kip against Christian and Cope at the pay-per-view. Well, they didn't announce that, but I figured it out because I'm a genius. And Excalibur points out that the last time we saw him was in London. And he's back in the green and black, whatever that means. I think that's the last time we saw Jack Perry too, was in London. So maybe they just stayed in London. Anyways, Christian attacked Kip. Luchasaurus chokes on Cope. And then they were face to face. Fans were chanting Luchasaurus. Then Luchasaurus put his head down. Christian got overconfident. And then he turned around and he chokeslammed Christian. And
Christian took a heck of a bump here. It looked like he kind of over-rotated a bit on that chokeslam and landed on his neck almost.
And Tony Khan was quick to side the match. So, they did announce the match. No, I know, like later, but I figured it out during the video because I'm smart. There was a thing back in the internet days, Lady B. You may not remember this, or may not even been around for it. It was called Wheel of Fortune booking, where when you're watching wrestling and you figure out what the storyline is before they announce it, that's Wheel of Fortune booking. It's like when you're watching Wheel of Fortune and there's like 2 letters left and you know what it is and the idiot contestant can't figure it out. You feel smart because you figured out the puzzle result. And it's the same thing with booking. So yeah, we got that match. Then we got backstage, Mark Briscoe. MJF, I've had enough. Tonight I'm going to find you and I'm going to kill you, son. Well, it didn't quite work out. So he flew all the way to England so they could turn him into, like, I don't even know what to call him. Yeah, like, this happened in WWE in some angle, but it was with somebody way down the card than Mark Briscoe is. Do you remember? Like, I remember something like this.
Happens all the time.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Well, it was like he used to do this with like Shane McMahon. Like Austin would like put Shane in a thing to get Vince to agree to whatever he wanted from him or something.
Yeah, no, they did this. I thought it was Edge threatening a concerto to somebody who had absolutely no emotional heft to the guy that he was doing it to.
Triple H threatened to break Shane McMahon's arm unless he got a title shot.
Yeah.
And then he broke his arm anyways. Remember that one? I thought, but yeah. So then MJF or Ricochet is doing a promo right after this, and he calls him and Gates of Agony the hottest group in all pro wrestling. Yeah, just like American Alpha is. And then MJF showed up, or no, what are they? They're not called American Alpha. It doesn't matter. American Made? I don't know. Anyways, MJF shows up.
Says, Alpha Academy, I believe.
No, that's the old group. Oh. American Alpha, that's their name.
American Alpha.
Yeah. So MJF shows up.
Flight, the Canadian superhero team from Marvel. Sure.
Yeah. So MJF shows up, says, I don't like you. Bald people freak me out. and he did some sort of thing. So I think they're kind of hinting at the fact that people think he's going to have a hair match with Mystico, but I actually think it's just going to be title versus mask. But I think down the road there is going to be a hair match, so maybe this is long-term booking. Anyways, he says, now look,
also plays into the whole he got Turkish hair plug jokes.
True. Yeah. Now look, as the old saying go, the enemy of my enemy is my friend, and my enemy is looking for moi. So what happens if all of us find him first? You want to be my friend? And Ricochet says, I'd love to see you stressed out, but Mark Briscoe kind of irks me. So yeah, shakes his hand. You got yourself a deal. And then MJF at this point notices there's a camera there, even though he interrupted a promo, and he shoos the camera away. And that was that. What's this? Oh yeah, Mark is Zack Ryder. Yeah, there was something with Zack Ryder too. That's right, Zack Ryder in the wheelchair. Yep. Okay, that's the one. Yeah, Mark Briscoe is Zack Ryder.
Jeez.
They're bringing up all these examples. So yeah, they're just doing the WWE's greatest hits. So next we got FTR and Brodido. Holy shit, this match. I took a million notes, and I gotta say, like the last 5 minutes, I was typing. I was typing, and for whatever reason, whatever I typed wasn't getting onto the Word document. So I don't know if my cursor moved or what happened, but it's also possible that my notes are going to show up in the middle of some other match. But anyways, this match was freaking awesome. Brody King was he got busted open and was bleeding like a stuck pig, and FTR was working over Bandito forever. They went through 2 breaks. Bandito was, through, I think he was in there like 10 minutes before he finally made the hot tag to Brody. Brody comes in, runs wild for like 30 seconds, and then tag Bandito right back in. And they just and I'm watching this match, and it's like, I have no idea who they're going to beat. And I keep thinking it's going to be Brody because they're putting him over so much, but they're not going to beat Bandito because he's the ROH champion. He's got a big match coming up next weekend. And I don't think they're going to beat FTR because I think FTR is going to be the next tag team champ. So I don't know what's going on. And they just on.
I put it together as soon as I heard the first time cue and I saw Brody bleed. It's obvious what's going to happen in the match, in the tag title match. FTR pins Brody to win the titles, and that way they get rid of the Hurt Syndicate.
Yep, that's what I put in the Discord. Somebody said, "Oh, the tag titles, are they the most likely to change hands?" Like, yep. And I said exactly what you just said. But I didn't realize there was a 30-minute time limit until Arcady made the announcement. I guess Justin Robinson.
I didn't either, and I got mad, so I started doing housework and stuff while listening to the match. I mean,
that's it. And it sucks because the match was great. And the fans, I don't know if they didn't hear the time cues because they didn't react the way you normally do when 5 minutes left. So it's possible. Because they were super into everything, and the match was great. This is literally if this had a finish, this is literally one of the best tag team matches of all time. This was great.
No. What?
Oh, I freaking love this, dude. I
thought the blood wasn't necessary until I put together that's how they're gonna make the excuse that Brody lost on Sunday.
Well, they don't need excuses. Brody loses all the time.
But I know that, but still, he didn't. This match wasn't heated enough to deserve blood. I'm sorry.
Really? You don't think so?
No.
Oh,
they weren't looking to hurt anybody. They were just doing a match.
The blood came when they whipped Brody into the ropes, and Stokely pulled a pipe out of his cast.
Right.
And then he didn't actually hit him with it, but then he rolled out of the ring and he played it.
But it played absolutely no part in this match. That's the problem with this is it's set up for the next match where it's like, oh, he lost so much blood in that match that he's going to be weak for this one.
The weird thing was they were doing the time counts and they got down to 1 minute and then 30 seconds. And nobody's even trying to get back in the ring. They're just brawling outside the ring. And the announcers, Danielson actually is the smart one. He said, "Oh, Brody probably can't hear the time cues," which I mean, that was a good thing. But the
Cash
whole thing
Wheeler is diving through tables with a minute.
Well,
left,
it was timed so that he would dive through that table just at the time the time limit expired. So I'll be interested because I know Dave would have timed it. I'll be interested to see if they actually hit the 30 minutes because the timing was as soon as he went through that table. The bell rang and the match was over. And then what's funny is when immediately after the match was over, the fans are booing. Arcady gets on the mic and she says, we just got word from Tony Khan, this match has been ruled a draw, but we just got word from Tony Khan. I thought, oh, okay, they're just going to go into overtime.
That's why I thought
both these teams are going to face the Hurt Syndicate. I should also point out, at 2 different times during this match, they showed the Hurt Syndicate watching backstage, and it was all 3 of them, and they were wearing these yellow shirts that I've never seen them in before, and baseball caps. And MVP even was wearing this yellow shirt with a baseball cap. He's always in a suit.
Pre-tape.
I think so, because they left, and when they came out, they were no shirts, no caps, and all they did was pose. They did not even get involved. So the story is these guys are fresh. The other 4 guys beat the shit out of each other, and now they all got to wrestle in 4 days. So the Hurt Syndicate are obviously going to win. So get your money in on the Hurt Syndicate. If you happen to be a sicko like me who likes to bet on pro wrestling, do not bet on the Hurt Syndicate because they are not retaining the titles on Sunday.
They may not even be employed in a few months.
The word is they only signed for a year, so we'll see. Yeah, I would, if I was them, I'd keep Shelton and put him in Ring of Honor, but we'll see. Yeah, so I love this match though. Like I gotta say, like I absolutely loved it. I can't say enough good things about this match. Like the funny thing is when FTR had that match against, I can't remember who it was in the first round. Oh, it's JetSpeed. I said, if there's a better match in this tournament, I'll be amazed. And I think we had 2 better matches in the tournament.
Can I be the person to say I wish they were telling the story in the ring that they were telling on commentary?
Sure. But if that's the case, then the commentary did a great job.
No, commentary, the story, because Danielson's saying about how they've gelled as a team. And it's like they did good individual stuff, but they weren't doing a lot as a team per se in terms of this match.
Well, they had some nice combo moves and stuff. They never actually got to do that awesome finisher they have, which there was one point where they're going to try a Power and Glory and kind of got a little bit botched. And then Bandito was going to try and 21-plex both of them. That didn't work out.
Yeah, but that's not tag team moves. And
I know. I'm just remembering some of the stuff because I did write it all down, but I wrote so much for this.
There's some weird story with Stoke and Bandito and 2 masks and whatnot.
Well, they had stolen his mask at one point. Like this was a couple weeks ago, and then Bandito got his mask back, stopped the match to put his mask back on while Dax is lying in the ring. And then Danielson actually correctly pointed out, well, he shouldn't be doing that because it's probably going to cost him. And then sure enough, Dax kicked out. So Danielson at one point, like there was a kick out. I think it was, they did the Power and Glory spot and Dax covered and then they kicked out and Danielson lost his mind. He's screaming, he kicked out. He was like, oh, it was great. I loved it.
Yeah, no, he added a nice bit of emotion to the whole proceedings over the night. I liked him.
Then we got a video package for Swerve and Okada, and the video package is great, but I still don't give 2 shits about this match one bit.
Nope.
Yeah. They tried, but didn't work. Hangman was out for a promo. Fans are chanting cowboy shit. He says, last week I was jumped from behind in the parking lot by Maxwell Jacob Friedman. Crowd boos. I got jumped from behind because that's how he likes to handle things. Underhanded, backstabbing, opportunistic. If he has a problem in his life, he can't look it head on because he doesn't have the balls to do it. It's a waste of my time and your time to call him out because he won't come out here to get the piss beat out of him because he's an insecure and gutless coward. So, Max, I need you to know that once you sign that Casino Gauntlet contract and you stand across the ring, there will be no backstabbing and there's only going to be one opportunity. And I'm going to shove my 12-inch ostrich leather straight up your checker print ass. And then Tony Schiavone, MJF's music hits and Hangman's ready to fight. And the music plays, but he doesn't come out. And then Tony Schiavone frantically is talking to him. He says, Hangman, I'm sorry. I got a message for you. Oh, MJF has one of our cameras backstage. But he says if you leave before he finishes, something very bad is going to happen. So we cut to the back. And MJF is there, and he says, hey, Seabiscuit, hey, bud. Remember when I told you you're most vulnerable when you're the most angry? Well, say hello to your vulnerability. And then they pan back, and you've got Ricochet and the Gates of Agony there with Mark Briscoe, and they got them all tied up. And he says, I got 3 simple requests for you at Forbidden Door. And if you don't say yes, then unfortunately, and then I think it was Bishop grabs a can of gas and they start dumping gas on him, and fans are, and Hangman's furious. And then he says, he's going to be Kentucky Fried. So here's the 3 demands. Number 1, the title can change hands by DQ. Number 2, the titles can change hands by countout. And he says, but number 3, and I wasn't even going to do this until last week when you outsmarted me for all of 5 seconds, but my 3rd demand is that I do not have to use my contract to get my match at Forbidden Door. So what's it going to be, Hangman? And he says, I'm going to ask for a lighter. He said, I've got to find out, do the people like it when MJF lights things on fire, unlike they do when their little hero Hangman does? And then Hangman says, put it down, Max. And MJF's counting, and Hangman's just pacing back and forth, and finally gets to 4, and he says, fine, do it. And then MJF says, that's what I thought. Blows out the lighter. He says, congratulations, you're still a hero. And Hangman's furious, grabbed a chair and went to the back. So we essentially just erased everything from last week, and we're back to a cash-in.
We did. And there's 2 gigantic things wrong with this.
I'll add a 3rd.
Both in the macro sense.
Okay.
The first is that just in general, attempted murder in a wrestling company where it's okay if you're at work. And look, I will fully admit WWE started this. Although people getting hit with cars has been something, and even fireballs has been something time immemorial, but it's made for a dramatic 6 to 8 months of a guy being out type thing. But burning somebody alive,
I feel like this has been done.
But on the other hand, okay, we're going to go to this drastic a measure to keep my contract from being signed. Why not just ask Hangman to forfeit the title to you?
Yeah.
Oh, I still want to have a match.
Yeah.
With certain stipulations about countouts and disqualifications being a thing. But I got you over a barrel here. And I'm not asking you to give up the title. No. That's yours fair and square. I just want to game the match over here. That makes no damn sense, Paul.
2 weeks ago on Dynamite, MJF beat Mark Briscoe in the main event.
Mm-hmm.
And we all assumed, he's getting the title shot at Forbidden Door because he beat Mark Briscoe. Last week, Hangman said, I'm not giving you a title shot until you earn it. And you didn't earn it.
Right.
Even though he beat Mark Briscoe in the main event of Dynamite the week before. And I ask you, Jeff.
Yes.
If not MJF, who? Who would Hangman be defending his title against at Forbidden Door? Of everyone that's available that doesn't have a match, who deserves a title shot? Who has earned a title shot?
Who doesn't have a match?
Yeah. You could say
Kyle Fletcher.
Kyle Fletcher's got a title.
Oh, that's right.
And he's already got a match.
Takeshita won the G1. He should probably be the guy getting the title match here.
Except that was in New Japan and not AEW.
Correct. But it's Forbidden Door, which is the whole point of having a pay-per-view is to do things with
True. You could have done Takeshita. You absolutely could have done Takeshita. That would probably make the most sense.
Who is the answer to your question?
I don't have one because there is nobody that's earned a title shot other than MJF.
Here's the other thing. What is the logical end to this story? In your mind, which they're never going to do.
Okay, the end to this story is Mark Briscoe is going to cost MJF the match because he made it no DQ and no countout. So Mark Briscoe is probably going to freaking light him on fire. And during the match,
you are correct in that way. But the correct answer here is he cost Hangman the title by getting him DQ'd. But there's no way.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Yeah, I got that wrong. The title can change hands on a DQ, not no DQ.
Right.
I'm so used to no DQ.
So the answer here is that Mark Briscoe is so angry at what MJF did to him, he comes out and attacks him, loses Hangman the title. But that's never going to happen in a million years. But that's the most obvious thing they should do here.
Or MJF tries to have MJF tries to get somebody to attack him on purpose. You know
what I mean? God, doing the Eddie Guerrero type stuff.
Yeah.
Hit me. He's gonna have like Bishop Khan like slug him or something.
Oh, you know what they could do? Mark Briscoe comes out and he's got like a flaming 2x4 or something like that, and he's about to hit MJF, and MJF is like, hit me, because he wants to get DQ'd, and Mark Briscoe turns around and whacks Hangman.
Oh no!
Ding, ding, ding.
No, well, okay, that might happen, but that would be stupid. Okay, and then what? Mark Briscoe cuts a promo about how Hangman should have just left.
Or you know what? The thing is, now they're going to tease something like that, and then Hangman's just going to beat him.
Yeah, but it's also going to be after probably this Ricochet geek faction.
Yeah.
Tries to hold down Hangman so he can't get back to the ring for the count out, and that's part of Max's plan too.
Oh yeah, you could do that, and then maybe Mark Briscoe. Maybe that's where he comes in and he frees.
And Toru Yano ties up somebody's hands with duct tape.
The end result of I still say I'll keep saying this till December, whether and either it'll happen or it won't happen. I mean, the end result of this MJF Briscoe thing is going to be MJF is going to lose the Diamond Battle Royal, and Mark Briscoe is going to win the ring and get a title shot. So
that's the appropriate way to do this. Yeah.
And by 6 months from now, you could do Hangman Mark Briscoe for the title. You could even have Mark Briscoe win if you wanted to. And then, Hangman left the ring, grabbed a chair, went to the back, come back from break. Hangman finds Ricochet, puts him up against the wall with a chair, and asks him where Max is. He's like, I don't know. And then her security guard says he's gone.
All right, pause right here. Because Ricochet playing the cowardly pussy here was so fantastic. I don't give him a lot of credit a lot of times, but here, just being absolute simpering wimp.
He was so good. Out of me, just like Chad Gable.
No, that part was good, but then we get security. He's left, so Hangman decides to deck a member of security.
Hangman decked his security guard just for telling him where Max was.
Guy's just doing his job.
Yeah, and Gates of Agony showed up. I don't know where they had been, but
and it looked like they were going to attack security too. It's like, good God, these guys can't catch a break.
I think they did actually. I think they did. I think they may have dropped one or two.
They shoved one, I think, and then
could be. And then they go back to the commentary, and Danielson said that MJF says that Hangman's at his most vulnerable when he's angry. No, I think he's at his most dangerous. And then we get our main event. After, as you pointed out earlier, after the 30-minute draw, after a man was going to be burned to death, we get Mercedes and Athena against Toni and Alex.
Hold on. Let's put up War Hero 99's last comment here.
Hurt Syndicate helps MJF. Oh, you could do that.
You know what? Bobby Lashley punches Hangman and MJF gets pissed at it because it ends up DQing him.
Oh, you could. Oh, I like that. So not helping him, actually costing him the match.
They're helping him.
Yeah. Oh, I like that. I like that, actually. I could see that. So Mercedes and Athena against Toni and Windsor. They all get their entrances. And Athena and Mercedes, they can't get along. Athena, at one point, slammed Toni's head on the floor. This is pretty early in the match. Windsor took out Toni and Mercedes with a dive going into the break. We come back from the break. There's 2 minutes left. I got a text during this. And it was from a listener, a Dean. We've talked about him before. He asks me, he says, did you understand the reference to the comment Toni made? And
the Austin Powers joke?
Okay, so you saw it. I missed it, but I don't think I would have caught it anyways. But she's making Austin Powers references, joking around during this main event title match. Or not title match, but main event match in the go-home show for the pay-per-view. What did she say? Get inside my belly or something?
Yes, get in my belly after licking her.
I missed it because I don't care about that shit.
Because they're in Scotland, you see.
Oh, that's why. So I asked him, why did they do the thing? He's like, I don't know. But yeah, okay, that's why. I should point out Mercedes had her hair done like Naomi, so I assume that was some sort of a tribute for her. Because
no, that was the same as last week. The crimp iron was on high again.
Yeah, Naomi.
Okay, well, but I don't think that was a tribute to Naomi, but okay.
I'm 100% positive it was a tribute to Naomi.
All right, fine. We'll go with it.
Yeah. For those who don't know, Naomi.
I'm not going to die on this hill, Paul. It's
Trinity
fine.
Tattoo is with child, and she'll be taking some time off, and good for her. And I'm sure Tony Mercedes probably very happy for her friend.
Yes.
Anyways, so they did a lung blower backstabber combo. That doesn't matter. You know what? Okay, so
really doesn't matter
to the end. No, they go to the.
You liked Athena's promo on Saturday a lot more than I did. I thought half of it was really good, half of it was bad.
I think I probably sent you the comment during the promo.
best promo of her life is what you told me.
Well, I think, like I said, I think I sent it to you during the promo. So It may be that it was the first half that I saw.
Yeah, the first half was really great. The second half.
So there was a Mercedes went for the statement maker. Then Windsor reversed it into a Samoan drop, puts on the sharpshooter, and then the fans went woo, or no, I can't remember what they were chanting, but then Excalibur said sharpshooter, deathlock, whatever you want to call it. And then she's got this thing on and she's sinking it in, and Ospreay is frantically screaming at her, she's not legal, she's not legal. And the way they shot this the way they had this camera angle shot, you knew what was coming. And but nobody in the ring knew what was coming, theoretically. Obviously they knew what was coming, but Athena made the blind O-face and got the pin. She hit Alex Windsor with the O-face, got the pin. And before that all happened, Athena had done a pile driver on the ring steps to Toni Storm. And Tony's lying out there, and I don't know if she's just a very good actress, but the fans seemed very concerned that she might legit be hurt, because they kept, like, the camera would occasionally go to that side and you could tell something was going on there. Like, you saw people running in from the back. The crowd was like looking, and like they weren't paying attention to the ring. They were looking at Toni. And I think she was just selling. I don't know. Yeah. So if she was, hey, that's her gimmick. She's an actress. So good for her.
No, that was the whole point, was to make you doubt that she's going to be able to win on Sunday. So they did knocked it up to 11, and they had personnel, including the doctors, come out and look.
Well, okay, they said doctor, but this guy had like a headset.
He was a guy dressed as a doctor. That's that, or yes,
he was dressed as a cameraman.
His first name could have been Doctor.
Could be, but he was checking on her, and then they cut over to Mercedes, and she's like arguing with a fan, I thought. But no, apparently it's Persephone.
Persephone or whatever.
In the match.
But during the match, they announced that the Stardom representative is Bozilla.
Yes.
We ain't never seen Bozilla on AEW television. We've seen a lot of Japanese women from Stardom, but never we've seen Bozilla, the daughter of Ulf Herman.
Oh, I didn't even know that. I just know she's a big monster who I've heard a lot about. I've heard she's awesome. I saw her once and she wasn't awesome. I saw her wrestle Megan Bayne, actually. The match was
to me, this shouts Stardom doesn't want any of their Japanese talent to lose.
No,
so they're sending the German.
And she's probably going to take a pinfall to Alex Windsor, is what everyone's thinking. But
that is what I am thinking too.
Yeah,
I think Alex Windsor wins this title at Forbidden Door.
Could be. They announced Collision. Okay, so in the post-show thing, and after the match. So we're going to have an international open challenge for Matt Caster. No spoilers, because I don't know what happened. What I do know is Max Caster was insanely over in this segment. The whole crowd was singing his thing. It was as loud as Edge sang.
I think I know who he loses to, too. I don't even know if it's a spoiler or not, but my guess is it's Grado.
Oh, I saw somebody else guess Grado. I was thinking that it would be like somebody from New Japan, but yeah, Grado would make sense.
No, it would be somebody for the hometown crowd. So I was figuring somebody from the UK or of some
but
variety.
apparently Max Caster was super over. The fans were chanting like, "Let's go, Max! You're the best.
Max, you're the best in the live." Yeah,
and they were doing it louder than they sang Edge's music. So like they were really into this guy.
UK likes their ironic comedy, so I'm here for it.
Hiromu Takahashi and Skyflight team.
God.
I howled when somebody told me that, and I won't say who they are, told me when they did the Scorpio Sky return this time. That's one of the best returns that AEW's ever done. And I'm like, get back to me in 3 weeks. And sure enough, 3 weeks later, Scorpio Sky is teaming with Top Flight with Christopher Daniels as their manager, and they're jobbers. So they're
let's put it this way: Layla Gray's doing album release parties in New York City, not even with that crew. So yeah.
But yeah, Skyflight against the Callis family, and they didn't even say who was in the Callis family, but whoever they are, doesn't include Takeshita or Kyle Fletcher, I don't think, and they're gonna lose. And Takeshita versus Ishii in a rematch from Dynasty, apparently. And then they come back to the ring, and Billy Starks wanders out. She's dressed like she just came from the Princess Ball. I don't know what the hell. Like, she looked nice, but I don't know.
She came out with Athena originally, and Athena sent her to the back before the match.
Okay, I missed that because I skipped the entrances. But she was not dressed to wrestle; she was dressed to party.
Right.
And I showed people helping out Tony, and then the show just left. Like, the show's done. That was it. No angle, no nothing. Just show's over. Go home, folks. Nothing to see here. I think they may have done a quick. They didn't even do a quick plug for Forbidden Door, I don't think. No. I was expecting they'd have some sort of angle with Hangman or MJF. Like, he left looking for MJF. Maybe like he found him somewhere. Excalibur said he was 2 towns over 30 seconds after the video aired. So yeah. I wasn't overwhelmed by this go home show, I will say.
The wrestling people like it.
No, you had to get that in. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's go over this.
I think our storytelling's fantastic. Okay, sure. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh my God. Oh no, wait a minute. This isn't all in. Forbidden Door.
It's Forbidden Door.
Thank God Wikipedia had a link to the next pay-per-view. Okay. Mm-hmm. What do we got here? I'll start at the bottom. Oh no, the bottom. Okay. They did order here is weird. Okay, I'm going to start at the top. The Golden Lovers, Darby Allin, Hiroshi Tanahashi, and Will Ospreay against the Death Riders, the Young Bucks, and Gabe Kidd in a lights-out steel cage match. I think I already said what I think is going to happen. John Moxley's going to submit Will Ospreay, probably with a plastic bag.
I don't see the point of that, though. That's the thing. It's so.
Well, I think Ospreay's out for a long time after this.
Yeah, unless I know.
They win and then he attacks him after. I suppose they could do that.
They could do that. Yeah, no, I agree with the ending. I'm just trying to think what is the use of having the Death Riders still be the main baddies on this freaking roster when you have the freaking Don Callis family. And I thought that for sure that this was going to turn into a split between Moxley and the Bucks. But I think you're right.
I mean, the thing is, ever since Hangman won the belt, like, the show still revolves around John Moxley.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Because that's the same thing that happened last time Hangman had the belt.
Okay.
Yeah. Hurt Syndicate against Brodido and FTR. I think we went through this already. FTR is going to pin Brodido. I'd love to see Brodido win, but I just don't think it's going to happen.
FTR pins Brody King.
Yeah. I could see Brodido winning, because that FTR against Copeland and Christian match doesn't actually have to be for the tag team titles. But I think it will be.
No, but now that they're in a head-to-head, they're gonna try and put as much oomph on it as possible. So
they may put that TLC match against John Cena's retirement match.
So you think the Bucks are going to be in that match too? Then
I do. I think it's me, Bucks, FTR, and Edge and Christian. I think all three of those teams probably have wanted that match for like 10 years. So
I just don't see FTR as a TLC type of team.
Oh, they're good. They're good bases.
Okay.
They're like the Dudleys. Kazuchika Okada and Swerve Strickland. I mean, Okada's gonna win.
Okada.
Yeah. You know, there is almost every match on the show is a title match, except for the lights out steel cage match and the Copeland and Christian tag match. Everything else is for a title. Timeless Tony Storm and Athena for the AEW. Now this one's interesting. I think Athena's gonna win.
I don't. I think Tony Storm wins in London.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But then Alex Windsor wins her match. I think only one of these title switches.
So then the other one is Mercedes against Alex Windsor, Persephone, and Bozilla. So probably Alex pins either Persephone or Bozilla, right?
Yeah, and then Chris Statlander can take the title off of Alex Windsor.
Yeah, probably. I kind of like to see that match actually, Chris and Alex Windsor. I think that'd be really good. Kyle Fletcher and Hiromu Takahashi. I mean, clearly Hiromu's taking the title. No, I'm just joking.
I just don't understand the physics of this match, but okay, we'll go with it.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know why. I mean, there's so many guys in New Japan they could have put in here, but I guess, you know, Hiromu they can beat. So Zack Sabre against Nigel McGuinness, which again, they never mentioned the Kyle match or this one on the show tonight, but I guess those are like collision matches, really. But it's Zack Sabre Jr. against Nigel McGuinness for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship with Daniel Garcia, by the way. So a lot of people predicting that Daniel's going to churn on Nigel in or after this match.
I do too.
Yeah,
and I think possibly Bryan Danielson makes the save.
That would work, and you could even do a tag match. You know, Zach and Bryan against Daniel and Nigel. Just get your Lloyd's London insurance policies paid up, boys. Hangman and MJF for the AEW World Championship. I think we've talked about that one. Title can change hands via countout or DQ. I'm going with that.
Hands.
I'm going with that idea that War Hero had. Well, the one that you modified. I think Hurt Syndicate comes out. Bobby particularly punches out Hangman, costs MJF the match. So he's hoisted by his own petard.
Okay.
And then finally, Adam Copeland and Christian Cage against Killswitch and Kip Sabian. I mean, Copeland and Christian probably win, but
boy, what a disappointing match too, kind of, because I was looking forward to Nick Wayne working with these two guys quite a bit.
I mean, we'll see it down the road, I'm sure.
We will, but I'm sure it'll be a nice feel-good moment for Edge and Christian.
Yeah, and then probably maybe we get Jack Perry return on after this or something.
I think it might be after the match, but it's possible.
Maybe Kip takes the pin, and then like Killswitch goes to attack him, and then Jack Perry's music hits, and it's a 2-on-1.
Do you think Jack Perry returns as a babyface?
I think he gets a babyface pop when he returns, but then he joins up with Killswitch, and no, you know what? No, Killswitch loses. And then Shayna
Shayna and Kip abuse him. Yes.
Yeah. And then Jack Perry. Yeah. That's how you do it.
And then he gets the pop that he should have gotten for this because it was the feel good story of coming back from near death.
Yeah. That works. Yeah. I'll go with that. And that was the scene of the crime, right?
Yes.
London, where
I think so.
That's where he got fired. No Hook video tonight.
Well, we got to get past Forbidden Door, then we can reconcentrate on Hook.
No ops. I guess if they do that ops thing, I guess it is going to be on the pre-show because that's 9 matches already for the pay-per-view. So,
well, there has to be at least 3 matches on the pre-show. So.
Yeah, and they've got so I like the War Dogs and the ops, and then we'll probably get Gates of Agony, and some
versus like Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal or something.
Yeah. I saw Satnam Singh had a Ring of Honor match. It was him and Jay Lethal against two jobbers, and it was fun. It was just fun.
There's your match then. It's Jay Lethal and Satnam Singh against the Gates of Agony.
Oh, there you go. I like that. And and hope everybody enjoys it. The only way I'm going to watch is if I catch up on all my wrestling, and I don't think I'm going to catch up on all my wrestling. So we'll see. If I have time to watch before next Wednesday, I will. If not, oh well. We'll be giving you guys next week. I'll give you the details on the bonus show. If we get that extra $10, we'll do a pay-per-view. If not, we'll do a Dynamite, and we'll keep accumulating money for the next Dynamite. So Jeff, get your plugs in.
Shake Them Ropes is another show that I do. It's on the Voices of Wrestling Podcasting Network. Myself and Chris Novembrino this week. The POE era on Peacock is dead and buried and not coming back. Oh, except that Saturday night's main event is now going to be streaming only on Peacock. It's just musical chairs. That's all we're playing here, but we'll talk about that. Don't know what Vader Club is yet. He hasn't selected it, but we're recording Saturday morning. We'll also preview Forbidden Door, see what he thought of this. He said that he liked that main event on NXT and likened it to some weird version of Undertaker versus Mankind Hell in a Cell, but with Javon Evans as Mick Foley.
I haven't seen it yet, so
I want to hear this theory of his, but I'll listen to it. I was a little bit disgusted by the match, to be honest with you.
I really like the Lash Legend Nia Jax match from a couple weeks ago.
I thought that was pretty good too. We talked about that earlier, but yes, that will drop in your podcatchers either whenever Joe and Rich can drop into it, probably Saturday evening or possibly Sunday morning.
All right. Sounds like a lot of fun. And I think Garrett and I may not be doing a takedown this week because I probably won't have watched the pay-per-view. And plus him and Jeremy are going late Sunday with their pay-per-view post-game show. So check that out on here. I think it's going to be Jeremy and Garrett and guest stars popping in and out throughout the thing. So
if I watch it, I'll pop in.
Yeah, so check that out. It's an earlier show, but I think they're going, I don't know the time, but my guess would be around 10 or 11 Eastern would be my guess. But check out the Fight Game Media Twitter, X, and Garrett will fill everybody in. So, and then we'll be back next week. So for Jeff Hawkins, I've been Paul Fontaine, and this has been The Dynamite Show.